Hello again. Today's been a busy day. Lots of activity working with World Energetics. I did a healing video utilizing sound to assist people to move through these changes that they're moving through anyway, but possibly move through them more gently and easily, utilizing sound as a lubricating force for opening up the energy channels that are opening up in all of us. So sound can be a lubricant. Sound can help us to release these energy blocks more comfortably. I was looking for some possible metaphoric images, but none of them that I wanted to mention came into my consciousness. Some came into my consciousness, but I didn't want to mention them. Let's just say a smoothie's easier to drink when it's fluid. The thicker it is, a little bit more difficult it is. The colder it is, the more difficult it is. The more kind of not so cold, not so many frozen things in it, a little bit closer to room temperature, and a little bit more liquid, it's easier to swallow. That's the same with opening up the channels. The more liquid the energy is, the more fluid the energy is, the easier it is to swallow, the easier it is to change. So we've done a lot of work already today. Those who have been participating in the World Healing Field, I made a video about the Mayan calendar, preparing you for October, November, December, which is just an opportunity to change. That's the best way to put it. Things are changing. We can get more flexible, and the change can become easier for us, or we can become more rigid, and the change can be possibly excruciatingly painful. So if you just don't resist the change, you might enjoy the change. It's a possibility. I'm not saying that I've been enjoying it so much lately, but I like the idea that it's possible. The more I work with fluidity and let go of my attachments, the greater the opportunity to just let go and go with the flow and have these energy channels open up. See how it affects the light? Go high, go high or go home. Might be the thing to say. So, to prepare you, so this is the world's tarot card for the next 3 months. So I'm talking about 3 months in the Pope Gregory calendar, because I'm talking about, the rest of October, November, and December, the first part of December. In that period of time, and really it's roughly I'd say 60 days. It goes to December 9th, so however many days that is, but it's roughly that period of time up to December 9th. There's 2 sections of big deals going on. in terms of galactic energies coming in, which are going to quite possibly affect us in a really wonderful way. The more flexible and fluid we are, might be a tsunami of cosmic energy. I'll mention the one thing I mentioned in the Mayan calendar reading, in case you don't watch that video, in case I don't post it. The term in the Mayan Yucatec, the Mayan language of the Yucatec people for humans is Winklil. And Winklil translates as cosmic vibratory root. So the human being is the root system for the cosmos. So the higher energies are brought in through humans. And I think whales and dolphins too, and many others. But that's the definition in the Mayan calendar for humans, is cosmic vibratory root. You might want to lock that into your consciousness and understand why sometimes it feels like this. And it does for me. Okay, so what we have is a card pretty much through the end of Pope Gregory year, so through the end of December. This is the energy, and it may only be through the early December, but it may go as long as the end of the year, that we're going to be working with these factors. And it starts off, and the card is the Tower. And so some people who know about, who have ideas about the 16 of trumps, or the Tower card within the tarot decks, they might be like hitting the pause button and exiting. But I wouldn't do that. I think this is going to bring you good feelings. That's my intention. And it's a kitty cries. I listen to kitty cry in the background. Okay, so according to this, a man named William Law wrote these words. I feel within me a consuming fire of heavenly love, which has burned up in my soul everything that was contrary to itself, and transformed me inwardly into its own nature. Okay, prepare yourself for the next 2 to 3 months. The Tower is a symbol of the universal principle of healing, renovation, and restoration. Because this card looks so violent, it has often been misinterpreted. The Tower is a symbol of the change and awakening that is required to dismantle that which is artificial, false to fact, or conditioned within our natures. The Oriental fire-eating dragon is the spiritual fire or life force that requires that we dismantle and restructure old forms within our personality, the Tower, so that which is actual and true within our nature can be restored and expressed. Whatever is crystallized or not truly a part of our nature is burned or thrown out of our personality, the Tower. The 4 figures flying in the air are representative of old mental, emotional, intuitive, and physical ways of expressing oneself that are outmoded and are no longer a part of the authentic or essential self. The eye of Horus, the opened and radiant eye at the top of the card, is an Egyptian symbol for the god of perception. It represents a state of awakening and of seeing the deeper and authentic aspects of self. Once we begin to awaken, we are required to come into alignment with the greater being of who we are. So, I connect to my deep self. Notice what happens when I do that. I connect to my higher self. And notice what happens when I do that. And I connect to my highest self. And I notice what happens when I do that. Once we begin to awaken, we are required to come into alignment with the greater being of who we are. We have to come into greater alignment with our true self. Simultaneously, this process is one of restructuring old, artificial, and outgrown forms of self in order to heal, renovate, and restore that which is actual and true within our nature. The haloed snake reminds us that renovation often is a process that is similar to that of a snake shedding an old skin in order to express more fully its new and expanded nature. The Egyptian snake with a halo reminds us that as we expand our consciousness, we're required to shed outgrown parts of ourselves like the snake when it shed its skin. May these words bless you. May these words uplift you. May these words let you know how much I love and appreciate every one of you who has the courage, whether known or unknown, to be here at this time. At a time of evolutionary change, and you could say, well, it's all a time of evolutionary change, and what I would say to you, from my understanding, knowledge, and wisdom, is that changes like this only occur every 13,000 years. And you decided to come here at this time and participate in shifting consciousness from 13 years of ancestral history into the next 13,000 year cycle that begins on March 25th of 2025. So you are dear to my heart, because every one of us who is willing to do the work, and it's work. I mean, if you're having an easy time, I'd bless you. I want to study at your feet. And if I become one who has an easy time, then you can bless me and study at my feet if you feel like it. You can do whatever you want, but just know how much I appreciate you and how difficult I know that this process can be for many. It is for me. And it may be for you. And know that I have your back. And know that I support you in whatever ways I can. Because this is a transformation of the body of humanity. There's 8 billion of us cells in this body of humanity. And we're all awakening. You may look around and say, I don't see it. I can look around, and if I look at it in a 3D way, I can go, I don't see it either. But if I work with what's going on inside me, and as an energetic healer, the way this vibe is just going up and up and up, and I watch how my physicality and my humanity has a difficult time and is challenged by this rising vibration, my work is done to support you in this process, and if possible, to help it be easier and gentler as you do it. I'm so grateful for all of you. Let's just help each other's heart to heal. There's no one out there who isn't part of our human family. Not saying that I like all of them, but I love them as cells. And sometimes those cells need to shift a bit, but we just keep doing what we do to the best of our ability. And love heals all things. And any of those people that are out there dying in wars, even if they're soldiers, and they're dying in these wars, we can say, oh, well, that's what soldiers do. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes they die. Sometimes they're just mentally traumatized and become dysfunctional. But everyone out there in the various wars that are going on who may be having their lives taken at this time, every one of them is a parent or a child. Many of them are someone's parents, many of them are someone's children. And if you've never had children, some people would say, consider yourself lucky. Because as I think Swami Muktananda of Siddha Yoga said, parenting is the greatest spiritual service. If you want to change on a spiritual level, have a child. Or more. Every child has a parent. Not every parent has a child, but every parent was a child and had a parent. It's parent, child, parent, child, parent, child, parent, child. All of these people that are dying are parents and children. They're not enemies. They're part of humanity. We bless them in their passing. You are my gift. Now let's go.